reflects genuine growth or a calculated repositioning to fit a new audience and a new power structure.
Everybody thinks the story ends with Charlie, but what if the real power shift started the second the cameras turned toward Erika? That's the contradiction people can't stop arguing about. Was she the quiet partner in the background, or the person allegedly positioned to inherit everything?
And they started singling out people, and they would pull them out one by one to go outside and smoke like a cigarette. Now, when it was finally my turn to go and talk to them, they approached me and they asked me, hey, what are your views on Israel? And I just told them, I think Israel's a good country. At the time, I thought so, at least. And they told me, okay, well, what do you think about, Mossad and, Israeli forces? And I was like, they're all right, yeah. And they were like, what if we told you we're part of it, Israeli groups and forces? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like, and you work for Turning Point, right? And they were like, yeah, we do. We've been working for Turning Point for the past 4 or 5 years.
On paper, Erika's public image looks almost too clean. Faith forward, family first. A polished resume that includes winning Miss Arizona USA in 2012, building ministry-style projects, and speaking like someone who wants nothing to do with chaos. So when TPUSA's board unanimously elevated her into the top role after Charlie was killed, supporters called it strength under pressure. Critics called it a perfect shield. And here's the part people miss. Both things can be true at once. The tension really starts when you compare the private Erika people thought they knew with the public Erika who suddenly runs a massive organization. That kind of switch makes people nervous, especially in a moment where grief, money, and influence are all colliding. And then the whispers turned into stories. Allegations, disputed accounts, second-hand claims about an internal cleanup that didn't look like normal restructuring. But then, one specific name kept coming up.
And what was told to me was that a Turning Point executive got into an Uber one day and they randomly just kind of started talking about Turning Point. And the executive asked the driver, so what do you think about Turning Point? And the driver proceeded to tell the Turning Point executive, well, it's just really sad. I've heard the organization's really going downhill. There's not really a direction and nobody likes Erika. And the Turning Point executive proceeded to ask this Uber driver, well, who told you that? And the Uber driver told the Turning Point executive that his daughter was good friends with a girl that worked at Turning Point way back when in high school. They had spoken about Turning Point since Charlie's assassination, and that, this was told to him by his daughter. And the Turning Point executive, of course, asked, well, what's the employee's name? And the Uber driver allegedly said, Aubrey. Aubrey who? Aubrey Leitch. And the story was presented to me as one of the reasons for my termination.
Now, none of these internal claims are proven in court, and details vary depending on who's telling the story, but the theme stays the same: fear. The idea that private venting could be treated like disloyalty. The suggestion that the new leadership wanted to know who was in and who was out. And that's where it gets messy, because if people believe they're being watched, they stop speaking, even when they've done nothing wrong.
We have so much to do, which is exciting. Charlie in heaven is like, you guys thought you had a busy schedule then, just you wait.
From there, the allegations escalate fast. Reports of loyalty check-ins, sudden terminations, and strict demands around company laptops. Some people even speculate about monitoring tools, though that's not confirmed publicly. Still, when enough former insiders describe the same vibe, viewers start wondering what's being protected and why.
We have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine. Yes, we did. I love you. I love you. You have to laugh about it, truly. I have been called every single thing, and you know what? God is so good, you let it roll right off your back. And this is what's so beautiful about this moment, because if the internet wants to clip it, who cares? I love this woman. She's an amazing woman. She has a soul and a heart for the Lord, and words are words, but I know her heart, and it doesn't even matter. And you say what you want to say because I know your heart. And I will not judge that.
Then comes another claim that raises eyebrows, a screening culture. According to disputed accounts, newcomers weren't just welcomed, they were allegedly tested, sized up, and asked questions that felt less like onboarding and more like sorting. And if that sounds dramatic, remember, drama is exactly what thrives in a power vacuum. But what happened next pulls this out of the office and into the spotlight.
This is how good the Lord is. He knew that because I was not dating in New York City, he knew that in order for me to know that that was my man, he had to blanket Charlie as a job interview.
Here's the turning point: money and direction. There's chatter, unverified but loud, about a push for an internal audit that supposedly mattered to Charlie and then seemed to vanish after he died. No public document confirms what did or didn't happen behind closed doors, but the perception alone is explosive. Because once people think the brakes were removed, every new alliance looks suspicious.
That young man. On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him.
And suddenly, the reserved image cracks. The public appearances multiply. The tone shifts. The brand becomes louder. Some viewers see a leader trying to keep the machine running. Others see someone who looks ready. And right when that debate peaks, another storyline slams into it. Online commentators, including Candace Owens, publicly digging into Erika's past and suggesting the transformation feels constructed. That claim is disputed, but it's spreading for a reason.
Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than...
I think you're a bright light in a very dark place.
So let's go grab a mojito.
She never dated.
I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
Now, the most viral theory isn't about politics at all. It's about matchmaking and motive. Rumors swirl that early meetings weren't random, that introductions were nudged, that people around Charlie helped shape the relationship. None of that is proven, and it's the kind of claim that can't be treated as fact without hard evidence. But once it's out there, it changes how viewers interpret everything. And that's when one name lands like a match near gasoline. Her longtime best friend, Tracy Martin, reportedly someone who might talk.
Lori knew. The Lori knew exactly what I needed, which was Charlie. And the Tyler knew that I would have to be sat down and told that it was a business opportunity, and what the Lori knew was probably everything about Charlie.
If insiders truly start speaking, the story could split in two very different directions. Either Erika is being unfairly targeted during a brutal transition, or the allegations point to a bigger behind-the-scenes power play that's still unfolding. And if Charlie's own priorities are being used as a symbol while the organization shifts course, that alone is enough to keep people watching. So let me ask you this, without assuming anything that hasn't been proven, what would it take for you to believe this is just grief in rebranding versus something far more calculated?